Hey, what's up, Couch Potatoes, and welcome back to the realm as we're here to talk a little House of the Dragon Season 2. Episode 4, we know the title of this one, guys. It was not The Dance of Dragons. It is called The Red Dragon and the Gold, and if you've seen the episode, and if you're watching this, I really do hope you have seen it, you know why. So this was an episode I've been hyping up for a while. I was very excited about it. Honestly, when I heard that the show was getting made, I was very excited. This was one of those moments. This and Blood and Cheese were two of the biggest moments I said I can't wait to see. Not on like a Red Wedding level, but on, just some things I really, because those are still coming actually.
Oh, goodness.
But there are some things that I was really anxious to see adapted, and I felt like I was very pleased with it. But you, as a non-reader, just before we get into details, overall, were you pretty happy? Did I hype it up too much for you?
I'm happy with what's going on land, so I wasn't beholden to any necessary dragon action. I mean, knew it was coming. Be kind of weird if it wasn't.
Right.
But I was like, it'll be there. But I was so happy with the story on land and with the people that when the dragons came, I was delightfully surprised.
Okay.
I did not expect to love Sunfire. I didn't even expect Sunfire.
Sunfire or Malaise?
Sunfire.
Oh, Sunfire, okay.
Wow, that was a surprise dragon for
It's
me.
no Moon Dancer, but
Whoa.
Sunfire's pretty special. Well, guys, this will be non-spoiler to everything that happens in the book after this episode. So if you have not read the book, don't worry. I'm not going to spoil anything because I saw a lot of people spoiling Rhaenys before this episode started. I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Because they read the book. And I'm just like, please try to be courteous of those kinds of things. So no new Tapestry edition this episode, but after the events of it, I'm pretty sure we will see some additions. Let's begin this by talking about your boy Daemon and him tripping balls out here. Now, you call these dreams or visions or both? What would you call these?
Yeah, I don't know. Are these before or after he's drinking somebody's drink?
Before. So, I mean, do you think that Alice Rivers is actually controlling these dreams? Is it something to do with the Weirwood tree? Is this his guilt? What's going on here?
I definitely think it has something to do with Harrenhal. And does Alice have any ability to tap into what's going on in Harrenhal? Maybe, possibly. But you taking a beverage from a strange woman's hand at night?
Don't let anybody roofie you, brother. What are you doing?
Protect your drink.
For things like this is why I think everyone thinks that Harrenhal is haunted / cursed, whatever, because obviously what's going on here. But I don't know if it's Alice controlling it or not. I mean, to me,
Werewoods definitely have a power.
Yeah,
now,
definitely.
whether this is them or not is a whole other question to debate.
So she's totally a red priestess, right?
That's the vibe I'm getting.
That's what I always assumed. The other theory is she's Brendan Rivers, Three-Eyed Raven. And, I mean, she is an owl, according to her. She is an owl. But I don't know. It does seem kind of funny that everyone's all planning for war and Damon's up here, like, mingling with this goth chick he met, on spring break.
Definitely having visions. I kind of wish we had found out a translation for that High Valyrian at the beginning. I know eventually the subtitles pick it up.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if
muffled.
she's repeating the same thing over and over again, and so or is there some secret High Valyrian going on that we as the viewer...
Let's talk about that vision where he actually sees young Rhaenyra again. They're speaking in Old Valyrian, which is really cool. Really beautiful language. And he actually beheads young Rhaenyra. So what does this say? Is this just saying that, like she says, you're going to make your own claim for the throne? Is this just, what do you think? What do you think this means? Is this foreshadowing or is it just messed up dreams?
Messed up dreams. I don't know. I've heard this, and I don't have this experience. I don't think you have this experience, where people feel like they're in a competition with their partner. And I was like, that's an interesting dynamic to a relationship. I don't know.
I do it better than you, so I would never do that. No, I'm kidding.
Right. So I definitely, that's a dynamic of their partnership from the get. So maybe he just wants to win the competition. It's not even about the relationship.
What about Daemon, as you call it? Because when it was happening, you were like, it's Daemon. Like, wait, I think that's Aemon. You said, I think it's both of them. And then he turns around and she says, Daemon. So, it's like you've been shipping this for a while now, Daemon, right?
It's I didn't know it was a choice for me to ship because the ship is sailing.
Yeah, they've been setting this up, obviously, since they first met. So that not really first met, but the last time you really saw them together. The way I put it in season 1 was Daemon looked at Aemon and said, yo, stop trying to be me, bro. And it was just clear that these two were going to eventually meet up. I think they're foreshadowing that quite well.
Maybe they'll make a Younger Brothers Club.
Younger Brothers Club?
Yeah.
The ones that have been passed over. Yeah, maybe. Oh, after this episode, Aemon might not have to wait much longer. But let's see here. So the whole, like, drinking the roofie drink, and then he, like, takes a sip, and he's actually negotiating with the
table?
Brackens. Yeah, that's like showing up to work not hungover but still drunk, you know.
And he's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "You called me."
But again, some of the things like he actually sees Lena, that's his second wife. He actually sees her as the cupbearer. So some weird. I think it's something about his past is really guilting the hell out of him. I don't know really where they're going because this stuff isn't really. Again, it's a history book, guys. You aren't getting to know what Daemon's seeing,
yes, or his thoughts or feelings,
from an outside perspective. You're not really getting to see what's going on here. So this is stuff that's mostly made up for the book, and I think it's just because, like I said, there's a while where he's just at Harrenhal. You're not really sure what he's doing, and they don't want Matt Smith or their big name really to kind of go missing from the show for a little while. At least that's what I think. But I gotta give a shout out to Oscar Tully because, guys, in case you don't know, House Tully. Big time.
Red
House
hair,
Tully.
hand-me-down robes. Must be a Tully.
Tully.
Yeah.
But I do think it's funny that Oscar Tully is basically family duty honor. That's how it works. That's what you're about. Because Damon's just like, yo, can't you just like kill your grandpa and just like make these decisions now?
And he
like,
is aghast.
I cannot do this. Basically, like, couldn't you
My
smother
boy.
him? But he's like that would not be our way. And I think that's cool. It's showing that the Tully family way is obviously generational. And I love the costume on the show, like just seeing the fish on the art, so
yes.
good. Every time I see a new set of armor or a coat of arms or just dresses, anything, I think you commented
Such
about
cares.
Allison's dress a couple times.
Oh, well,
The
can't
costume, how
call
does this
it.
not win every award for costuming ever? It's just ridiculous.
Such care and thought to detail, and especially if you're a reader or you're familiar with this universe, you're like, yes, yeah.
So Rainey's, this is a big episode for her, obviously. And it's not just like what happens at the end, but what kind of happens at the beginning. And she sleuthed it together here that Alan and Adam of Hull, well, maybe they might be partially related somehow. I think she's pretty much discovered that these are Corlys Valerian's bastards, yes? Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. She handled it quite well, honestly. I mean, Corlys is going to be out there on the sea for a while. Things happen.
I don't think she was surprised.
Yeah, she didn't seem too surprised about it. He was obviously very, very ashamed of it. Obviously that's why because I do feel like they have a great marriage. They do genuinely care for one another.
Oh
but,
yeah, yeah.
Shit
I
happens
think they have
during wartime,
a
I
working
think.
relationship. Yeah.
But that was it was painful. Me knowing what was coming this episode, I was like, don't let that be their last party. No, it isn't. They have another time together at the. Which was really kind of amazing. See how everyone's just at the Black Council, Rhaenyra's council, are kind of treating all the ladies like shit until Corlys shows up. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And all of a sudden, ooh, everybody's back to normal. That's some sad shit.
Okay, but earlier in the episode, the small council in House Black, they were getting kind of sassy.
Yeah.
With Rhaenyra gone, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I kept waiting for Jace. Like, you're clearly number 2 here. I kept waiting for him to step up and shut them down.
Yeah.
And he really didn't. And I was a little disappointed in Jace.
I think he's feeling like a little fish in a giant pond right now because obviously he's trying to do his duty, but these are much more experienced men than him. So what's he going to say to them? I don't think he's really found his oomph yet, but it may happen. It may happen, especially after the events of this episode. Let's talk about Alicent here for a second. So she's full on like aborting babies now, but it's not her; it's her friend. It's her friend. I like that. It's like, it's not for me. I have a friend who needs it, and I'm like, dude, Orwell has a chain this long. He understands what's going on.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
But is this only effective if you've already conceived, or is this preventative? This is what I don't understand about this particular moon tea, having not experienced it myself.
Well, I think it's one of those things you don't assume that you're pregnant, right? I feel like you point out later on that she's got the warm stone
she's got
on
her
her
PMS
ovaries.
heating pads. Go
Yeah,
ahead, girl.
that maybe
Go
she
ahead,
did
girl.
have to push out something, so she was maybe further along than
or at
than
least
you
cramping
thought,
away
so.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. That's some messed up stuff. But Lyris, he isn't stupid either. He understands everything that's going on here. And
I was, as a keeper of secrets or somebody who wants to know things without knowing they know things, he was pretty obvious to, hey, I see that tea, and how's your boy Kristen doing?
Yeah, really, it's like even after you drank that tea, you couldn't put the cup somewhere. Come on, Allison. Gosh, man, I swear, sometimes these people. But Aegon does realize that he is not in charge. And I was like, really, bro, everyone in the room knew it, but you've been pretty much a lush ever since Jaehaerys, which I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I'd crawl up in a bottle if that happened to one of my kids, no doubt. I wouldn't be trying to rule a kingdom. obviously, but he's clearly not. You know, Aemon and Corlys, or not Corlys, Chris and Cole, Crispy Cole. You feel me wanting to call him Crispy lately.
Crispy.
Crispy critters, they have their sights on Rook's Rest. And he's like, what the shit? Why aren't we marching on Harrenhal or whatever? And then they get in this big old, like, rap battle in Old Valyrian, which is basically like showing.
Battle.
Well, yeah, basically showing, like, hey, I understand. I love that Aegon tries. He goes, I can make war. He just sounds like me when I try to speak Spanish to her. I know some. I know bits and pieces. I could probably get by, but not too far. But I mean, what's a sobriquet, by the way?
Oh yeah, it did send me on a vocab quest, and I had to look it up. It is just a nickname.
Sobriquet and lickspittle. Man, Eamon was just bringing the vocab this episode. Yes. Go, brother. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't really shocking, I think, to see Aegon hey, I'm not in trouble, and he just leads him to, pout and whine about it to his mother, and she's having none of it.
Oh, tough love.
Having none of it.
Tough love. Probably too late.
I think that, honestly, look, I'm like, you need to be smacked around a little bit, but I'm like, Allison, you maybe could have reeled it back just a little bit. He did just lose a kid. I mean, I understand you need some tough love in this situation. He was throwing a pity party, but I was like, damn, she laid it on thick.
She laid it on thick, but then she didn't follow it up with, here's what you should do. Just kind of laid into him and left. And if you don't give someone like that what he should do, he is going to come up with something on his own.
Well, Viserys was sick for a long time, so I'm sure Alicent was pretty much playing ruler there for a long time. Yes. Otto had been Hand of the King, 3 generations, and so, you're not listening to Alicent because she's a woman, she's my mother, whatever.
She's my mom. Stupid mom.
Yeah, stupid moms. What do they know, right? And then he did what he did with Otto, so I think that she's understandably quite bitter about that. Honestly, it's like you've got these great. It's like I say about social media, or the internet. Really, it's just like we have this wealth of knowledge at our fingertips, and hardly anyone uses it for anything except to do cat memes. So I feel like that's what Aegon's doing a little bit. He's looking at cat memes when he could be having all of these great people telling him this is probably the best plan of action. And, the thing is like you at least go to them for counsel. You don't have to do it. You still got the trump card. You can still play the trump card if you want to, but it's just like, why are you not even using these resources? And it's just, I don't know. I think he's trying too hard not to be his dad, which, was it really a bad thing to be Viserys? I mean, he was...
Actually, I kind of think, early on, where Otto was schooling him, you can't be liked by everyone. You have to do what's right. I think he did want to carry on that reputation of a loved king. And he's definitely one who seeks adoration and popularity. So
he was. He didn't want this. He didn't want to be king. You remember that? It was until the adoration that he saw, and then he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I can be down with this." But the Iron Throne is very, very sharp. So the Battle of Rook's Rest. I will say real quick, the sack of Duskendale. I wish it wasn't just we're seeing the aftermath of it, but I understand they wanted to make Rook's Rest like the big action set piece. And I gotta say, for all the people that've been complaining, well, there's not enough action on the show, I hope you're happy now, because I thought this was pretty damn special. So you kind of figured out early that Chris and Cole's plan is to, his plan was to hopefully lure Rhaenyra and her dragon there. They could end the war there. That's what he was hoping for. So Rhaenys comes instead. Do got to point out that I do believe in the book Jace really wanted to go, and they do that in the show.
Yeah, they do that in the show.
But the book, it's Corlys Velaryon who counsels her not to let him go. Oh. I might be wrong, and I might be remembering events out of order here, but I know that Corlys does have a lot of feedback, and when he came into the Black Council there, I thought for sure, okay, they are kind of going with that. But yeah, Jace, it's like Luke just died, I'm pretty sure. And that's the thing they bring up in this episode, that like it's only been like a couple weeks, since these events have happened.
Right.
So this is all happening really quick. It's like the first season of the show is like skipping months, years, everything. And this one is like the next 3 seasons potentially of the show are going to be over about a year and a half. It really is just like, I think from 129 to 131 AC is the Dance of Dragons. So things have definitely slowed down.
So much mirroring on the two sides or the two houses with issues with the small council. Both leaders having issues with their small council. Mm-hmm. Understandable issues, but... and then, what was the other one? Right there after that small council meeting, both sides grappling with the legacy of A Song of Ice and Fire. Mm. Like you see Alicent digging through, trying to find histories and trying to find...
Stuff on the Conqueror, yeah.
Yeah, and her husband's books. Mm-hmm. Viserys' books.
It's like, I just moved them. I didn't burn them. That's pretty funny.
But then you come back to House Black, and Rhaenyra is passing down the legacy
Yeah.
to her son, and I hope that really does kind of help him step
That's
up.
why someone's
and
saying, I hate it when they
assume
do
his
that
place.
because it reminds me of how bad season 8 of Game of Thrones is. Get over it. These are based on a book, and that's in the books, guys. The prophecy is in the books. They're just doing it a little earlier on the show. I wish
know.
people would quit
I guess-
whining.
I would say it didn't remind me of necessarily bad season 8. It just reminded me,
Me neither.
of they're connected.
People are just like a scorned lover with season 8 of this show sometimes. So Rhaenys does arrive instead, and it is awesome. It is badass.
Yeah.
Something
Yes.
I love that they did in this episode was really show. It's something I don't feel like they've done a lot. Is show that bond between writer and dragon. Like even when Aegon goes out there drunk, the dragon's like nuzzling him, he's laughing and stuff,
Yeah.
and you see
Yeah.
Melee's and Rhaenys where he's like, it's off to war again, old girl. I'm just like, oh man, again, knowing what's coming and knowing that Rhaenys is like her favorite all week has been like, oh my god,
Old lady solidarity.
Yeah, it was set up the stage pretty cool, but it was just seeing finally, this is the first time like in history you've got dragon on dragon fighting, and it's just so awesome. It was so well done.
And I didn't think it was a 3-partner dance of dragons, so that was a sparkling surprise.
That
for
was
me.
the surprise there that Cole's plan was to lure Rhaenyra there, and then of course Vhagar would go and kill her
in.
because that's kind of what Vhagar does. There's a reason
Big
Vhagar's
Daddy.
so old, you guys, because he doesn't usually lose these kinds of things. And you know what? You think, okay, well, you're so massive and everyone else is so small. Sometimes it's not the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And this one is just like, Vhagar was going to come out on top here. But Aegon showing up when he decides to go drunk driving on a dragon.
So really, I guess I knew Aegon had a dragon, but it's not spoken
fire.
of, and he's not the maybe most studious dragon rider or studious period. But seeing him and seeing her, she is so beautiful. And when he drunk drove out, I was like, this is going to end in a
badly.
horrible.
Yeah, so
horrible
Cole's
wreck.
plans actually, I mean, it might not have been Rhaenyra, but still, it was like his plan was working pretty good. And then Aemon sees Aegon show up, and he's like, okay, let's wait here. Now, this is where the speculation starts. And this is where a lot of people start being like, oh, this is changes. And I'm going to touch on the whole changes from the book here at the end. I won't get into that here. But so seeing them actually start to fight or whatever, he's like, I'm just going to stay back. And Rhaenys in Malaysia, they fuck up Sunfire pretty bad, man. They're scraping the shit out. That's awesome.
And he's
That's awesome.
clearly a smaller, younger dragon, and
Aegon has
it was
no idea what
hard.
he's doing.
You know what I was thinking though, and this is something we didn't talk about already, but I was like, aren't these dragons related? Like, aren't they brother sister dragons? Like,
Pretty much, yeah.
so are they so bonded with their rider they don't mind taking their sibling out, or is it?
You ever raise? I used to raise litters of puppies.
Oh,
Didn't
yeah.
they beat the shit out of each other
Yeah.
for a freaking pebble of food? So I'd say so.
Okay.
I'd say so. Oh God, Vhagar. I love how he's got like the holes in his wings and shit because he's just so old.
Oh, he comes up looking like a dinosaur. He's got the long neck with
Doesn't
the,
even fit on the screen at
right,
first. He's so
the
massive. I love it.
vines hanging off, like he's just, I don't know, been awoken from a swamp.
I just think this captures like what the chaos of dragons showing up to a battle just turns everything into. I'm not fighting this person anymore. I'm running for the hills. I'm running for the
Yes,
forest
yeah.
as fast as
Yeah.
I can, and it just captured that chaos really well, I think. And that's why I'm always like, hey, they're talking about changes from this history book, which is a recounting of history 100 plus years later from people who weren't even there. And it's like, how do you know? In this chaos, do you think anyone that was actually at the Battle for Rook's Rest can tell you exactly what happened between
Unbiased
Aemon,
and unbiased
Aegon?
reporting? Doubtful.
Again, so everybody that's like, oh, well, Aemon showing up and deciding to cook both of them, that kind of takes Rhaenys' moment away because Rhaenys and Sunfire apparently did pretty much take out Aegon, and then Aemon shows up. And it's again, this is all based off of a history book that people that weren't even there at the event, guys. So you have to let that go. Be like, oh, it didn't happen like that in the book. According to who? There's multiple recountings of how this stuff happened. The show will say it's going to stick with here's what the end game was. We're going to fill in the blanks of how it actually happened to get there. And again, that's why I'm not like, oh, they changed. It's a change from the book. This changes everything. Changes nothing. At the end, Rhaenys is still dead.
I say the bullet
Aegon's
points are still
cooked.
there. They're just
Aemon's still
have room
Aemon.
to wiggle with
Yeah.
details. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been driving me crazy. Another big question I've been hearing is why did Rhaenys turn around? after she had beaten Aegon? Why did she turn around? Well, I don't understand why this is even a question.
I was also confused. I'm like, what do you?
She was
why
given a
wouldn't
job.
she?
Go
She's
there and stop them from taking Rook's rest. That's going to take
That's
one of
the
our
job.
competitive advantage away. I'm going to be able to leave Dragonstone so quickly. The job wasn't done.
And they
Aegon
didn't
was
even know
down.
dragons were there when she showed up.
Right.
She came to stop the army.
Right. So if she thinks, okay, cool, he's down, I can get the heck out of here. You think, knowing Vhagar is still there, you think that they're not going to take that castle? I mean, I don't understand what this is. The job wasn't done.
The army still would have took the castle. That's the job she was there was.
I just don't understand why this is an argument. I have no idea, and I think it's just that everybody just wants to find plot holes because they're still so scarred by season 8 of Game of Thrones. They feel like they've got to find giant, massive plot holes. This one isn't one. It isn't.
Well, I was watching and watching her connect eyes with her dragon.
Dude.
Yeah. That was very touching scene, very emotional scene where you're like, it didn't have to be this way.
Yeah.
It didn't. You could have left.
And I mean, look, if I have a problem, it's more, it's like, okay, Vhagar's massive. Where else is he going to be hiding behind that castle? So that one would be more than why did she turn around?
He was down in the trees.
Yeah, but it was very sad. Yeah, the dragon, getting its head chopped off in its last moments, going to turn and look at her before she lets go. Beautiful shot, though, the way she lets go. I mean, special effects, amazing this episode. I have no complaints about the special effects of this. It's beautiful, and again, I think this is probably the most expensive. No, Battle of the Bastards might have been more expensive, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The special effects shots in this are just top notch, and again, I don't know how they're not winning every single Emmy this year. So Rhaenys' death, pretty sure at this point you saw it coming before it happened, but did it hit you? Because I know she was your favorite.
She's my favorite. I'm a little gutted.
Or, let me interject here, or has George just gotten to the point now where you just expect everybody to die and it doesn't even affect you anymore? You're desensitized to it.
I don't know if I'm desensitized, but I'm not surprised. I mean, anybody can go. And I've got an idea of another body that's gone, but I hurt more for House Black because she was such a good wise counsel, because she was another strong female figure, leader, to set an example and give guidance to Rhaenyra, because she's played this game before and she knows how to lose.
Yeah, she's been there since Rhaenyra was a child. You know, she's been with her. So that's a huge loss for Rhaenyra. Not just the dragon, but Rhaenys. That's a huge loss.
Yeah, Rhaenys. The dragon. Yes,
she's had her back ever since this went down. So this is a huge loss for her, and I feel like this is the first point. Before I was like, I felt like Team Black had the advantage. Now I don't know. I feel like it might be shifting because you got all the forces on the ground now, and the dragon game just got just kind of evened up a little bit. I don't know. It depends on the fate of Sunfire. I shall not say if Sunfire is alive or dead. I will not say if Aegon II is alive or dead. That's for you to find out next week.
I really think Sunfire and Aegon are dead.
Okay.
I really think both of them.
So what do you think about
soon to be dead? Maybe died from wounds later, complications, infections, whatever.
When Cole shows up and he sees Aemon, Aemon's got his sword out. So was he going over there to finish Aegon, or was he just picking it up and sheathing it?
So and even with him, Aemon waiting, like, what was that? You didn't want to come get your brothers back? Were you going to let him take the glory? Did you think he could potentially win, or let him get taken out and then go get the job done? Like, what was that holdback? And then to come back and you're the first one to go hunt him down when he goes down. Are you coming to see? I really think Aemon.
It's understandable that we get these names wrong. Yeah.
Aemon would be, I'll wait and see and make the best out of what situation. I'm gonna wait and see. And then when the situation happens, I don't think he had any malicious intent originally, but if the opportunity has presented itself. I think he looked at his
collateral damage when he was up there. Hey, look, if Aegon gets taken out while I'm attacking my least, them's the breaks, but he's not just going to go straight up and just knife his brother in the back, I don't think he's...
Even when he was looking for him on the ground, I don't think that's really what it was. It was just to see what's my situation and how should I play my hand now.
But again, I can't call these changes because people that would have been there, they wouldn't know exactly what was going on because they'd have been like, I'm getting out of here. Right. Dragons. Right. Yeah.
Dragons. Gotta go.
Again, I really...
Or even Kristen, who wasn't trying to get the heck out of Dodge, but, was knocked out, was occupied with staying alive. He missed the whole he missed the whole dance.
I want to talk to fellow book readers. This is what makes people that read the books look bad. When you guys act like this, when you guys say, "Oh, it's not like the book; it's changed the way." More so than any of the main series, which actually has a story narrative where you're inside the characters' heads, where you're third person omniscient, you know what's going on, or first person POV. With this, guys, again, we don't know. These are stories being told by people of what they've heard, and they admit in the book they have their own biases. So, again, stop attacking people saying, "Oh, it's so different from the book. They made too many changes. It's stupid." Shh. Stop it. Stop it. This is a good adaptation. It's a very good adaptation. I was very disappointed with Blood and Cheese. I'm not even going to hide that. But this I was quite happy with. It really did meet my expectations. And I think I know where this season's going to end. I think we're halfway through the season now, which sucks, by the way. I felt like we've been waiting. We're waiting for this forever to come back, and now it's almost gone again.
See, and I feel like there's been, you say people are thirsting for action. I feel like there's been so much action. There's been baby murders and...
Yeah, well, they wanted to see dragons, they wanted to see fire explosions, and I think you got it this episode. Yeah. Think of that one where Vagar crashes and then he gets like you see the soldiers running and Vagar's like getting up and it's like
just taking them out left and right.
What an amazing shot! Yeah. So this episode it is their highest rated episode of the series on IMDb. I don't care if you guys do that or whatever. I just looked before this; it has a 9.6. With a hell of a lot of votes. So I feel like the majority of people are quite happy with it.
Oh, yeah.
Really, the only people I see whining about it are people that have read the book. And I'm just like, have you guys seen some of the adaptation that comes out? This is freaking amazing compared to most adaptations.
There's a lot of adaptations that take a lot of liberties.
I'm quite happy. Next week, I think we're just going to be dealing with the aftermath, obviously. If you guys watch the preview, I think you might be able to see some things there. But again, it hasn't happened on the show, so I'm not going to talk about it yet. But
so my prediction is just Alicent's on the tragedy train. She's lost her husband, lost her grandson, lost her lover's estranged, her father's estranged. So I'm predicting her tragedy train is just choo-choo, full steam ahead. She's going to lose her son. Yeah. And then
you guys see why this is hard for me every week.
My other prediction, because Rhaenyra is on a victory, even though she's going to have lost Rhaenys. But
so you think there's going to be a nice retaliation again?
Well, no, I just definitely don't think she's going to be like, okay, well, I'm done. No, she's not packing up her dragons and going home.
No, definitely not.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
So she's going to turn it around. Now that she's committed, that she's centered in her fight.
How do you think Corlys is going to react?
Oh, badly.
Badly.
Very badly.
Very badly. Okay.
Meleys is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have some dragons to assign.
Yeah, I think you might be seeing something about the dragon. I've heard some people being like, "What's this dragon seed thing?" Guys, it'll be very important. It's going to be important this season.
I wish it was more. I've heard you talk about it more than I've heard the show talk about it. It was just one throwaway character and a throwaway line. Yeah.
But they're going to be very important after this because they do start to realize, we've got these dragons and we don't have enough people that can ride them. So the dragon seed stuff they're setting up, it's been slow. They still have to introduce nettles, and I'm excited for that. But I think it's going to happen probably the next episode or two. We're going to set that up because what I think the season finale is going to be, they got a lot of ground to cover still, and I can't wait to see it. So,
you know what I noticed? They're not dragons.
Oh, they're wyverns?
Wyverns?
We did this.
Wyverns?
Everybody did this during Game of Thrones, too. I don't know. They're fire-breathing lizards. I'm excited.
All wyverns are dragons, but not all dragons are wyverns? Are we talking about squares and rectangles?
Like I said, fire-breathing lizards with wings. I'm here for it. That's why I love the fantasy genre. But guys, that was House of Dragon Season 2, Episode 4. We'd love to know what you guys think about it. Drop in the comments. Give us your rating out of 10. Hey, I would love to know where you would put it. I'm a solid 9.5 right now.
I want to know who's your favorite dragon.
My favorite dragon is Caraxes, the Bloodworm. Yes. That's Daemon's dragon. Hell yeah. And you haven't even seen him wreck shop yet.
He's hanging out. Maybe I wonder if Caraxes is having dreams.
It's a good question. What does a dragon dream about? Not enough sheep to eat, which they're having on the show.
Like
not enough livestock. The dragons. All right, drop in the comments, guys, and we will talk to you there.